Okay, everybody. So it's been a while since I posted a video. Took me a little time, but as you can see, this is what I've been doing. I had to go to a bigger, better choice of the CO2. So I went from the 5 pound to the 64 tank, and this tank here should last me quite a while. So as you can see, here is my regulator. This regulator, I'm going to tell you right now, you guys, is a very good regulator. It seems to be doing a good job. You can fine tune. I know you can fine tune off this, but this is just basically emergency turn off if it's going through the day. If I need to turn it off, I can turn it off here. And then here's my fine tune for my bubble counters, and I should not have to touch them anymore. So as you can see, I got the hose coming up through. And the reason why I did this is to stop water from coming out of the bubble counter. So if I did go up here, it would just fall. But eventually I'm doing away with water, so I'll probably trim these down so they don't look like that. And I'm going to go with the oil. I forget the name of the oil, but I'll do a video on that too. I also have a new splitter coming. As you can see, this one here was bent. Looks kind of funky. So they're sending me another one. Probably unhook this one and put the new one on, and then put this one on top of here. So I'm going to have 3 bubble counters. He said he was going to send me a new bubble counter, so that's pretty cool. So I'll be able to run 3 tanks. I'm going to run the 60, 75, and the 30. So you can see I run the hose clear down all the way to the floor and out the bottom. And then that just goes right across over here and then over to here. I'll show you that in a minute. So I hooked this all up with the timer that's down here, and I hooked the aquarium's lights to the timer, so I know when the lights are on, that is on. So that's the setup for the CO2 tank, and I didn't want to figure around with going and filling a 5-pound tank. In my area, it's not very easy to find somebody that can fill up tanks. There is a place in Fredericton that I have to travel 2.5 hours away just to get 5 pounds. 5 pounds running 3 aquariums, it's not going to last me very long, so I'm not going to be interested in the wintertime, especially traveling to Fredericton and doing tanks. So I got this tank here for $125, and this tank should last me quite a while. As you can see, there's the carbon dioxide symbol. Now when I was buying, they told me the tank was aluminum. Once I get out there after purchasing, the tank was not aluminum, it's steel. But it should be fine. I'm guessing now the 75 gallon is running at about 2 to 3 bubbles per second. And this one here is running at about a bubble per second. That's on a 30. So when I have the 60 gallon hooked up, which I'm hoping I can have that hooked up by next week, this tank should last me at least 3 aquariums, 3 bubbles per second for 75, about 2 bubbles per second for 60, guessing. 1 bubble per second for the 30. There's no leaks. I've checked everything. Should last me for a good, this tank should last me almost 4 years, if not 3. But we'll soon find out how long this is going to last. So roughly around the length of hose, this is rated for 55 psi. The length that I have to run to my aquariums, so I'll show you that. And eventually there's just going to be one going down and right straight over to this tank. And the other lines are coming out and going over here, and then they're coming right straight over here. And as you can see, they're coming out of the floor. I'm going to get myself, I'm going to find something to cover the line up so there's no accidental hitting or cutting or nothing like that. So I'm going to find some kind of braided stuff to put on this line just to cover, to protect this area. You know, and then you get hideaway going clear down around all the way over to the 30. Now, for everybody's probably wondering, wow, that's quite a travel for your airline. How long does it take for it to build the pressure up to go to your tank? These guys are all probably freaking out because I got light on them. Plants is looking a lot better, and we'll get on that topic when I have light. Right now I just want to do a video on the CO2. So for the time, for the 3 bubbles per second on the 75, for it to travel, it's about probably around 2 minutes. For the 30, 1 bubble per second. If I said 1 bubble per minute, I'm going to slap myself. So 3 bubbles per second, around 2 minutes for the 75. This one here is the 30, and it's roughly around it's 1 bubble per second, and it takes about probably around a minute to a minute and a half to travel to the 30. Now, this one here, actually, it's going to take less time because the new diffusers I have coming have check valves on them. They're built right in, and they make the lines hold pressure. So the CO2 will stay in the line, and I won't lose any. Now, I do know with this one here, the bubble counter, it's in the 75. It has a check valve in it, but it's not 100%. And it allows to seep out a little bit, but I tried it. I released the hose off the bubble counter, and it was a slight bit of pressure in the line. So it doesn't take as long a travel for the 75 as it does for this one. So new ones come, it'll be a little different. Now, I didn't want to buy and I didn't want to cut anything in the line, and I didn't want to put no check valves in them because there's a chance for leaking there. I don't want to have any chances for leaking. Either I want it to leak here, or I want it to leak in my tank. And this here spot, it's not going to leak. I checked it. I will check every once in a while, soap and water, all the little joints and stuff. I've checked it like probably 10 times because I don't want it leaking in my house. But I've checked everything. I've checked all the joints, like where the gauges are going right into the regulator. I've checked all those. I've checked here, I've checked here, I've checked here, I've checked up in here. I've checked all these threaded areas. I've also checked up here. And I also checked right on the main stem. I've also checked here. So I made sure there was no leaks whatsoever. And everything seems to be good. Temporary chain. I got it chained to the wall. This is going into wood. It's not a very heavy duty hook, as you can see, but it will hold it. And I got a chain on it. But I'm going to go with a heavier duty one in there, temporary. I have to pull on that to get it to fall over, because the way I have it set down here on the floor, I have it so that underneath here's a cardboard box, so it takes a lot of force for it to fall over this way. It's mostly leaning against the wall, so there's no way for it to fall over. I've tried it, but just to save precaution, I'm going to beef up those hooks and keep the same chain. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, new aquarium lights. Now you guys all know that I got the McMolly aquarium light for the 75. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a review on that, and I'm going to give you a review right now. But guess what? You gotta go to the next video. So subscribe, rate, and like, and want to have a little conversation down in the messages down below. You can go ahead, have any questions. I will try to answer as many as I can. So next coming up is the review on the McMolly light. I guess it's called McMall light. And I'll tell you right now, the company, actually, go to the next video, you guys. Thanks for watching.